Coach, last home game of the season here. What are some thoughts after today?
Um, I think we uh, talked about being prepared to play. I don't think we'd gotten a great start the last two games, St. Mary's and Pacific. So I do think we came out with a greater amount of intent beginning of the game, and it kind of it's been the story of our whole season. We make a lot of mistakes. We miss a lot of shots, and we turn the ball over. And yet we find a way always, almost always, to be in games through the very end. And I thought this game was very much like we do. So second quarter was tough. We dug a 10-point hole, came out really fought and scrapped, and I thought played really pretty good defensively in the second half and created some offense with our defense. Um, the difference in the game to me is coming up with loose balls and offensive rebounds. They make four kick out 3-pointers off of either offensive rebounds or loose balls, offensive rebounds that we can't come up with. And that's just been a pattern for us. And I wish there was something I could do to snap my fingers and fix that, but. That's 12 points right there if we just come up with a basketball and hang on to it. And I thought a couple offensive rebounds off of free throws, and they got to the free throw line about 10 more times than we did. So we compete, we play hard. We just you can only survive so many holes in your boat, and tonight we had a couple too many and we sank.
Mara seemed to, will this team throughout the game. 18 points to lead the way. Just what did you see out of her offensively tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think I really thought she kind of did that in the St. Mary's game too. I think she's, kind of seeing the end of her career coming up. We're guaranteed two more games, and I think she has really just kind of stepped up her intensity and her intent, especially honestly on the defensive end of the floor. She's had those 8 steals against St. Mary's. She got her hands on a lot of balls and was very disruptive, I thought, defensively tonight. And then, she's always looking for a shot and looking to score and looking to set teammates up. But, it just, it seems to me that she is, you kind of hit the nail on the head, just trying to will her teammates along. And she's really buoyed us, significantly these last few games. And, hopefully we can respond well and get another shot on Saturday at Santa Clara.
You mentioned defense. Holding Maya Hernandez, one of the best players in the WCC, to 1 point and scoreless from the field. Just overall defensively, especially in the paint. Just what can you say about the effort down there?
Yeah, I mean, I think really what allowed our post players to play pretty well defensively was the pressure that our guards, starting with Mara, were putting on their perimeter players. They didn't get to see as many things probably as they usually get to see. I thought we kind of poked the ball loose a few times, and I did think our defense was disruptive. We just, in order to win games, especially against good teams, you need to be able to capitalize on the turnovers that you create. You need to be able to capitalize on some of the things offensively that we weren't able to do tonight.
You had some momentum entering or exiting the first quarter. LMU comes back in the second, outscores you by 10. Obviously, they have their fourth quarter as well. Just what are those little things that need to be changed to kind of keep the momentum in your favor?
Yeah, I mean, again, offensive rebounds, second chance opportunities really hurt us. Taking care of the basketball, we give the ball back. We do. We talk about stacking good things together. We need to be able to stack good offensive possessions with good defensive possessions, and too many times we either trade or we stack negative things together, and we'll have quarters where we'll do more of that and then dig ourselves a hole and spend another quarter trying to get out of that hole. So but I thought again we go into the half 6 points down, we come back out, and they're a resilient bunch, and they are a tough group of kids that I think are trying to do the right things and competing hard. We just sometimes don't have maybe the experience or the skill level right now to execute as well as we'd like to consistently.
And with it being senior night, with the 3 graduates being honored, Olivia, Megan, and obviously Mara, just what have those 3 meant to you obviously they're brand new to this team this year, only 1 year with the program, but just overall, what have they meant to you, and possibly even Sol, who might have played her last game as well?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think for those first three, it's a tough thing to come in and only be with the program for one season, and you see more of that, um, now because of the transfer portal and NIL situations. But I think it's we've asked them to do a lot. We've really asked Mara to come in and take on a lion's share of the work on both ends of the floor. Really, we've asked Megan to come in from an NAI and be, in our top rotation. We've asked Olivia to do that, and then Olivia had some injury setback at the beginning of the season, and I think it's that first year is tough. It'd be fantastic if they had another year because I think their comfort level with the program, their comfort level with the staff, with the style that we want to play, the expectations would grow exponentially, as it will with the freshmen and sophomores. We hope to have returning, but especially for those guys, they they came in, they provided really good leadership. They are high character, they're intelligent, they're high basketball IQ, and they're part of helping um, you know, continue to have a strong culture within our program, and they've excelled at doing that.
With a lot of seeding implications up for grabs entering Saturday with the team at Santa Clara, which is what's the message to the team heading to that contest?
I haven't even looked at the who's in what place right now. We just, as we've said all season long, we need to get as many wins as we can. But these guys just have to learn from every game and try to um, put themselves in a position to take both the good and the bad and um, make it so that they can use the confidence that they gain from doing the good things next time and the lessons that they learned from doing the things that maybe they failed at and make those all be positive for the next game. So, our challenge now is just to come back and, can we compete again at this level, and can we compete, maybe a little bit more efficiently, take care of the ball a little bit better, not give up so many second chance opportunities. So we're just, kind of focused one game at a time, and we know we've got 2 games left for sure, and we're just going to try to get as many games in this season as we can.